What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. So in this video I want to show you how to fight the Chromatic Abbest. Now the Chromatic Abbest can be found in the Abbest Cave. When you enter, it does say that it's dangerous. I'm going to take you through the different mechanics of the fight, and then I'll show you my setup towards the end of the video. I am in Act 2, so my setup may be a slight spoiler for some of you watching. I will let you know when I'm going to go into that so that you can click away from the video if you haven't reached Act 2. My party for this fight is Loon, Mael, and Sael. And this guy does massive amounts of damage. That's why you need to be basically perfect with all of your parries and blocks. Now, I may be a little bit under leveled for doing this, but I am able to complete it, and I have almost a perfect run that I'll show you in this video. We have Loon because she's going to add those fire stacks. We have Ciel because this enemy is weak to her dark magic. And then we have Mael because she just does a ton of damage and she can switch her stances based on the amount of burn stacks that are on the enemy. And like I said, this enemy just does a ton of damage if you actually get hit. It's essentially a one-shot for my characters. Now let's dive into the attacks. We have the ground attack that you'll need to parry at the last second. We then have an air attack that's going to happen, and this attack's going to happen 3 times as well, and you're going to want to parry that as well. Parrying these attacks are going to give you the counter attack, and that's a lot of damage, so I highly recommend doing that. The final attack is a ground attack where it's going to attack once or twice. Make sure you parry those so that you can get that counter damage. After that, the fight is pretty much wash, rinse, repeat, putting in your best damaging skills when you can. You will notice in this video that I have the music shut off. I did that because I'm not sure about the music for YouTube and whether I would get in trouble for using that music with my upload. But in doing that, I've noticed that the music can actually be counterproductive to listening to the audible cues for your parries or your dodges. So if you're struggling with the parries or the dodges, you really kind of need to take those audible cues. I recommend turning the music down or off entirely so that you can hear those audible cues. Your eyes do play tricks on you sometimes where the game doesn't give you a visual indicator of when you should block or parry. You really need to listen to the sounds. So I'm going to play the fight in its entirety. I'm not going to talk over that. I'll just let you watch it, and then after that, like I said, I'll show you each one of my characters and how they're set up.
A storm is coming. Feel the burn! Take cover! Venez, attention! Well. Here's your card. Well. Blades sharpen. Precise. Strike. Let the ink flow. Careful, Mael. Take cover! full deck. You're fit to see. You're short?
Dance. Brace yourselves.
Your fate is sealed.
Okay.
Do me in. Here's your card. I'll do it. Chroma is flowing.
The dance begins.
Not today.
Take cover.
So there you go, there's the fight. Let's take a quick look at what we get for it. First of all, 59,063 experience. That's a bunch of experience. We get the first offense Picto, which is the first hit dealt and taken deals 50% more damage. The Resplendent Chroma Catalyst ×2, which is going to allow you to upgrade your weapons to level 19. And then the Color of Lumina ×5. This next part does have the potential to spoil the ending of Act 1. Here's our attribute setup, 13230021 for Loon. For CL, 112303 and 26. And Mayel has 1126, 2, 4, and 23. Here's the weapon and the skills that I had equipped for Loon. And the weapon and the skills that I had equipped for CL. And finally, the weapons and the skills for Mayel. Here's a look at the Pictos and the Luminas that I used on Loon. And the Pictos and the Luminas that I used for CL. And lastly, the Pictos and the Luminas that I used for Mayel. Hopefully this video helps you enjoy this fight a little bit more when you head out to do it. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't be out of whack. There's another video on the screen right now that you can watch to support more of my content.